You guys know what time it is. It's time for NFL predictions. God, I hate myself. That sounded so horrible. I'm getting a spam call right now, but I don't really feel like doing anything about it. All right, first up, we've got the Titans and the Bengals. I honestly feel bad for Joe Burrow. He's been really good, but every single time he's playing well and he's got them in the game, somehow they just managed to fall apart. I mean, you let Donovan Peoples-Jones catch that game-winning ball. The Bengals are still the Cincinnati Bungles until they can actually win a game like that. I don't really care. The Titans, I guess I was wrong. This probably doesn't change too much about my Derrick Henry MVP pick. I mean, you're going up against a really good rushing defense. I don't really think there's anything that's going to change before this game, and I think the Titans will get a bounce-back win here. The Patriots and the Bills, it's getting really ugly for the Patriots, and this is the first time we've obviously been able to say that in quite a long time. I mean, you've got some drama there. After they brought Jarrett Stidham in at the end of some garbage time minutes. Cam Newton and quote-unquote embarrassed Cam Newton said the starting job might be in jeopardy, so they might be turning to Stiddy for the rest of the season here soon. But no matter what they do, the Patriots are not going to beat the Bills. I mean, it's looking really bad. They're just completely... You can see, if you watch the Patriots play, you can tell that they're just completely out of sync on offense. They don't really know what they're doing. They've just been so on the same page as Brady because it had been 2 decades, and all of a sudden a new guy's there, and it's going to take quite a while for them to get adjusted, even though this might only be his only year as a starter. And the Bills, they're obviously really good. What I got to say about them... Who?
Okay, ready? But Josh, you guys are gonna add us back, right? Wait, I want to make sure that we're gonna get added back. Okay. If you don't leave, you're out of juice for the rest of the day. When Josh says go.
All right. Next up, we've got the Raiders and the Browns. Here's an interesting one. Obviously, the Raiders got wrecked by the Bucs. Or did they? I don't even remember the result of that game. Bucs probably won. Yeah, they did. I'm sorry. I just can't even remember the result of the previous games when I'm picking the current set of games. Anyway, the Browns, they played a really good game. Obviously, it was a horrible start. Baker Mayfield in the first couple of minutes was like 2 of 7 with an interception. But then he just turned it on, and let me just say something here. I never said that Baker Mayfield was a bust or that he was a lost cause. I never said he was going to be really, really good either. His potential still remains 5 touchdowns. But that being said, the Browns could potentially be in trouble here. Odell Beckham Jr. has a torn ACL, and he's going to miss the rest of the season. So we don't know who's going to step up as, like, the next number one receiver. I mean, obviously, Jarvis Landry is going to get, like, double, triple targets. But if they want to maintain, like, the culture of having a receiving tandem, who's that number 2 guy going to be? Austin Hooper hasn't done much this season. Maybe it'd be a good time for him to step up. And... I mean, the defense, especially the secondary, is still not... Okay, the secondary, Myles Garrett's, like, amazing. And that defensive front's pretty good. But the secondary is not looking really well. I don't really think they have much of an idea what they're doing. I mean, obviously, they've just got a bunch of young guys in, like, Greedy Williams, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, I think. I think the Raiders are actually going to be able to pull this off here. I mean, obviously, we know what the Raiders can do on offense, and... It feels kind of crazy saying this, but they could do enough on defense if they really put their mind to it. They could do enough. Obviously, it's still one of the worst defensive units in the NFL on paper. Statistically, I don't think they're horrible. But on paper, if you look at the players they've got, they are not good. And we have the Ravens and the Steelers. I mean, this is probably something I should have written a script here because I have no idea who the hell to pick. This is really an example of a 50-50 game. See, normally my thought process is, oh, these are like two equally good teams. Well, the Ravens are at home, so home field advantage. They got the dub. They don't have fans. At least I don't think. Okay, all right. Let me just think myself through this. Doesn't really matter. It's going to get cut out of the video. You know what? I mean, I have picked against the Steelers quite a few times now. Obviously, that hasn't worked. So I guess I'll switch up my strat and go with the Steelers. I mean, obviously by record, they're the best team in the NFL. But, I mean, if you take into account other things, they're probably not number one. They're still really good, though. They're going to go deep into the playoffs. And they'll establish themselves as a legitimate threat if they have not already with a win over the Ravens, in which I predict they'll dominate on defense. It won't be a blowout, but they'll continue to hold Lamar Jackson to the mediocre numbers by his standards he's put up this season, and it does make me pissed because I have him in fantasy. Now we got the Chargers and the Broncos. I legit forgot how these people did in their last games. This happens to me a lot. Oh, yeah, the Chargers beat down the Jags. Broncos obviously lost to the Chiefs. It was a real blowout. I'm basically going to recycle my explanation from last week on why I'm picking the Chargers. This is a defensive unit. Obviously, it's so banged up. No Von Miller. They legit have had to activate A.J. Boye. That's how bad all the injuries have gotten. But this is a banged up defensive unit, and Justin Herbert, obviously when you're going against the injured defense like the Broncos, the rest of your offense isn't going to have many opportunities to absolutely sell. Obviously, well, okay, that's pretty much it. Same explanation as last week. And now we have the Rams and the Dolphins. Man, this is going to be Tua Tagovailoa's first start in the NFL. And all season long, I've said the Rams are so much better than their record. They're legit a dark horse to win it all. What was I going to say? They had a really dominant win against the Bears last night, 24-10. And so I feel like this one is just telling all of the people who didn't believe in the Rams, shut the F up. I mean, that was a really nice win. And back to this game, I think that the Rams are going to win simply because they're just a better team. Even if we were still playing Fitzpatrick, I would not expect us to beat the Rams. And what really scares me is, in the likely event that this happens, the media is going to go absolutely insane. There's going to be so much criticism, even if Tua has like 500 yards. I feel like I'm just really scared as someone who had to live through like Zion's rookie season in the last season of Alvin Gentry. I'm just so afraid that something like this is going to happen, and Brian Flores is going to be used as a scapegoat and fired. It just really scares me, but this is not my place to talk about it. Colts and oh my God, the Lions, the Detroit Lions. I mean, there is no way they should have won that game. That was really just all Todd Gurley. Although I was playing Todd Gurley in fantasy, so that was nice for me that they called it a touchdown. But anyway, obviously I've got the Colts in this one. They have like the best defense in the league. Still, I think. Yeah, it's still the best. And they'll be able to shut down DeAndre Swift, who's actually really good. Oh, crap. My Clash of Clans base is being attacked. Hopefully I don't get 3-starred in the middle of recording. Anyway, DeAndre Swift is actually really, really good. He's like an Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey type guy, and he's definitely going to be a Pro Bowler. Um, Outside of that, Kenny Galladay, who I don't even know if he's playing anymore, TJ Hawkinson. The Lions don't have much of an offense, and the defense, we just don't even talk about that. The Falcons and the Panthers, the Falcons have just found every single way to blow a game. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous at this point. And the Panthers, I wasn't expecting them to win, but I was actually surprised with the way they were able to stay with the Saints that whole game. And for that, and the fact that the Falcons are just horrible, I've got the Panthers winning. Falcons fall to 1-7, and the Panthers are back up to 500. Now we have the Packers and the Vikings. The last time these two met, it was just an ugly scene. Devontae Adams had a huge game, which he actually just did last week as well. I don't think any of this is going to change. The Vikings, they're just an absolute dud. They've already acknowledged that it's going to be time for a full rebuild. They traded Yannick Ngakoue to the Ravens, which is a smart move because he was going to want some money soon, and they'd rather just spend that on, better free agents and stuff instead of just having to funnel it all into one guy. Anyway, we got the Saints and the Bears. Now, this is going to be an interesting football game here. I'm actually going to go with the Bears. Obviously, Nick Foles is kind of trash. I personally think that they might consider going back to Mitchell Trubisky, but for whatever reason, NFL coaches seem to hate going back and forth between QBs like that. I don't really know why. The Saints, they almost lost to the Panthers, and the Bears, they're going to be hungry after getting beaten by the Rams like that on national TV. So they get this dub, move up to 6-2. Now the Niners and the Seahawks. The lack of defense for the Seahawks has finally caught up to Russell Wilson in the offense. Although Tyler Lockett is absolutely insane. DK Metcalf is fast as hell. I think the Seahawks are going to win. Their lack of defense might get exploited again. But if we're being honest... Excuse me. The Niners, I don't think Mozart's playing. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo decided not to suck in the last game. So I think this one will be close. But, I mean... with the way the Seahawks are playing this year on the offensive side of the football, I don't think they, especially Russell Wilson, is going to have an off game like that very often. Now we have the Cowboys and the Eagles. Oh, God. The Cowboys, it's just when they think it couldn't get any worse. Andy Dalton gets a concussion. They have to play a 7th-round rookie. And the defensive coordinator gets frickin' hot sauce in his eyes during a media interview. Yeah, it's not been the best week. I think the Eagles are going to win here. Carson Wentz is not absolutely horrible anymore. And, of course, I dropped him in fantasy. And now he's half decent. Obviously, they're going to miss Miles Sanders and Zach Ertz. Richard Rodgers is going to have to be their tight end for a while, because Dallas Goedert isn't playing either. But when the defense you're going up against is Hot Sauce Man's defense, then you're going to be fine. And finally, we have the Bucs and the Giants. Obviously, the Bucs, they've emerged as a legitimate contender with their last 2 really dominant games. Gronkowski, hey man, Gronkowski could potentially top 100 yards in this Giants game. He's starting to climb up a little bit in terms of his production, which also makes me happy because I have him in fantasy, and it's a surprise I haven't gotten rid of him by now, and my patience has paid off. That will do it for these predictions. Standings. I don't think much changed in the AFC other than the Browns dropped to 7, and they almost are out of the playoffs, and the Raiders are almost in. I also don't think anything changed out here, just like all the records and stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully these games are as good as Week 7 because those were crazy. Um, yeah.
Uh,
Outro.